But with Donny's success peaking, people close to him began to notice that something was unusual in his behavior.
We were watching television, and Donny clicked to a channel that didn't have any transmission and got those dots on the screen. Donny thought it was very interesting that those dots were doing what they were doing.
In 1971, I began to see some, I guess I can call them spotted behaviors. And at that point, I called his manager, and he said, yeah, we saw something wasn't right. I said, well, what did you do? Well, we were watching him. I said, thanks a lot. I got to do a little more than watch. I started to seek help to see if, in fact, there was something wrong, and in fact, there was something wrong. He was diagnosed as a paranoid schizophrenic.
Paranoid schizophrenia is a brain disease that can trigger delusions and hallucinations. Feeling persecuted and hearing voices are typical symptoms, as are confusion, anger, and anxiety. To make matters worse, treatments in those days were primitive at best.
Back then, I think he had about 14 pills 2 or 3 times a day. He began to feel better, and they always try and ditch the medication. If there's not someone around who knows something about that illness, they're in real danger.
He had been admitted to a hospital. He didn't want to be there anymore. That was it. He had had enough, and so they called Mrs. Hathaway, and she called me and told me please go with her to the facility. And he was a little bit more vocal than I had witnessed before, and he was disturbed. That's what Eulalia was dealing with, his mood swings.
Donny had been ill. This particular night, he was singing, he's sounding good, but at some point in the session, he screamed and ran out of the room. He was like huddled in a corner crying. And I said, Donny, I said, brother, what's up? He said, them 2 men, they're trying to kill me. I said, who? He said, white people. He said, they have my brain hooked up to a machine, and they're stealing my music and my sound.
He wasn't being himself. So this is hard. So I called the session off.
The musicians left the studio. For Donny, it was the last time.
I think he knew that something was going to happen.
On the night of January 13th, 1979, Donny Hathaway was found dead outside the Essex House Hotel in New York City. He had fallen from his window in an apparent suicide.
Maybe I never recovered, still, because it's difficult to talk about.
I haven't come to grips with that. I haven't accepted that. I haven't accepted it.
Donny's bright musical legacy spanned a decade.
He wasn't just a singer, he was a musician, and he had the ability to really express some deep emotions.
Donny was just exceptional as a singer. By all accounts, a normal used word genius. Donny Hathaway was a genius.
Atlantic Records, they saw it. Curtis Mayfield saw it. I mean, everybody that he worked with.
His untimely death stunned the industry.
It was shocking. This young man, that was it. There would be no more music. How tormented was he to take his life that way?